kind of poetic that you know, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And, that the time is always right to do what is right. And, that kind of quote has a lot of meanings in a lot of different ways. And, we use it as a basketball program as well. I spend a lot of my time talking about do your job. And I didn't feel like we did that as a team. And we got to be better. Our discipline's got to be better. For us to win on the road against a really good team, that's what you have to do. And for us to win at home on Wednesday against Minnesota, that's what we're going to have to do.
All right, we'll start with Mark Brennan.
Hey, Micah, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Hey, you're about halfway through your first season as a head coach at this level. How would you assess your performance, and maybe what are some of the things that you've learned being in that seat as compared to being in the seat next to it? Thanks.
I don't know if there's you kind of go with the ebbs and flows of a season. You have to learn your guys, you have to learn your team, right? There may be things that I went in thinking about what we want to do or how we want to practice and everything else, and then you have to go based on how your team's feeling, how the game before it goes, when your time is afterwards. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm learning here is how to best manage time, how to have your guys ready for games. That's the biggest challenge right now, I think, is doing that. And also, learn to delegate as well. Right? I've been an assistant for 20 plus years where, you try and do everything, and I can't do everything. I don't have time to do everything. That's why you hire good people and you allow them to do their jobs and allow them to work. And then, I try and focus on our team as much as possible and, make sure that we're the best that we can be on game day. So it's still a learning process, though. Whether it's year one, but shoot, it could be year 21. And I'm sure there are coaches still learning. So I'll give you that answer when I'm finished at some point in time.
John Sauber.
Hey, Micah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So why didn't Seth Bundy travel with the team to Ohio State, and when do you expect to have him back?
Yep. Unfortunately, John, I'm not allowed to. University policies. I'm not allowed to talk about injuries or illnesses. So that's, I try to be as forthcoming with you guys as possible. But, at some point in time, my hands are tied behind my back in terms of what I can say. That's a matter that, we're not allowed to speak on right now. He's day to day right now. We're looking forward to having him back, and hopefully it's soon in terms of when we get him back. So, I can tell you right now that, like, we could have used him. We could have definitely used him. But, I'm not at liberty to say right now. I'm sorry that I can't.
Andrew Clay.
Coach, I asked the players this last week if the Purdue loss. I know you guys don't always see positives necessarily in losing, but now that you do have the close loss to Purdue, you have the close loss to Ohio State that you did without Seth. I mean, what confidence do you have in this team now as compared to where it was at the beginning of the year?
I think we're constantly growing. I think we're constantly getting better. I've always thought this team would take time, with a lot of the new pieces, a lot of guys playing together for the first time. Everybody playing for me for the first time, right? So it's a constant learning process, and I thought we would get better as the season went on. I think we're still going to get better. I don't think we're a finished product yet. So, but one thing you kind of have to learn from, and our quote all last week was "good is the enemy of great," and I don't feel like we handled the little bit of success that we had very well. Right? I talked about it in the first question or in the opening statement. I didn't think our discipline was great yesterday. Like, we don't traditionally foul people and send people to the line. They shot 34 free throws, right? I think a huge part of that was because of us and how we played. we prepared the right way. I thought we were pretty locked in defensively. We did good things offensively, better, when I went back and watched it than what I thought originally. But I don't think we handled small pieces, parts of success. I don't think we did that very well. And, as a program that expects, I expect us to win every game. I expect us to, play in the NCAA tournament, win games, stack games on top of each other, go on winning streaks. Don't be happy with being close with somebody else and now we've arrived. We haven't arrived. We haven't done anything. We're below 500 in this league, and until we get where we want to be, I'll never be satisfied.
David Eckert.
Hey, Micah, thanks for your time today.
Yep. How you doing?
Doing good, thanks. I was talking to Jalen Pickett a little bit last week. Was, I guess, kind of describing how he's always had to be an intelligent player because he hasn't always necessarily had to have the athleticism to go with it. I guess for you, how important is having an intelligent guy in that spot in your system? And what about Jalen made you seek him out? Thanks.
Yeah, I think his experience, was another thing that, that I wanted to, as we're looking to fill our roster, having guys that around, we had older guys, right? We had John, we had Miles, then we get Seth eventually. Having older guys with them, I thought was important, right? You don't want to have a bunch of old guys or 3 old guys and then a bunch of new guys, right? Nobody's on the same level. Nobody's at the same plane in terms of where their learning is. So him having experience in college basketball, him being able to understand the game, having somebody that's going to have the ball in their hands that understands the game. Because, I don't call a lot of plays. We do a lot of read and react basketball, and it's really built on understanding what the defense is doing, understanding how they're trying to take it away, now understanding where we can attack, and now doing all that in live time. And if you struggle to make those reads or understand what they're doing, or you can't see it, you're going to have a hard time playing the way that we want to play. So that means you're also going to have a hard time playing beyond here if you have thoughts and dreams of playing beyond here, because that's how basketball's played at the next level.
Ben Jones.
How do you kind of benchmark yourself in terms of success night in and night out and over the course of a season, while also having maybe a certain amount of realism to, how difficult it can be to win in the league?
Yeah. You have to, right? You have to kind of balance the two. But you also, you can feel good about the results if you did everything you were supposed to do, right? If we prepare the right way, if we handle our business in practice every single day the right way leading up to it, if we play a game, and, nobody's going to be perfect, but if we do what we're trying to do, defensively, if we do what we're trying to do, offensively, we do what we're trying to do. And sometimes your shots don't fall. Sometimes you miss free throws. Sometimes, this, that, or the other, whatever it may be, but you put in, total effort, total focus, then you can feel good about the results because you know that you did everything possible. And sometimes you can do all that and you still don't win, right? That's where you got to be hey, we did everything possible. I don't think we did everything possible, right, yesterday. And we had an opportunity to win the game. There's areas we got to clean up. If we're cleaning things up and we're doing things we're supposed to, and our shots don't fall, then I feel okay with it because I know we're doing everything possible. So that's where it kind of lays. We're giving ourselves a chance every night, right? You're giving yourself a chance. Now clean it up, be better. Now win those games. Tough teams win those games, right? The good teams win those games. Bo Ryan never lost at Wisconsin because they were about as disciplined as possible. Defensively, offensively, it was a grind to play them. Then they also had a crowd that would show up for them every single night. And, the good and the bad. I hope we can get to that point where we can count on, our fans to be there for us every single night where we have it. You play the kind of style that we want to play, and you bring a crowd in here that makes it, super tough on the opponent. We're not going to lose very much at home either.
Nate Bauer.
Hey, Micah, you said that you could have used Seth yesterday. Just
You're good, Nate.
I got a 3-year-old here. What side of the floor did you most notice his absence? And just in general, kind of how that trajectory has gone for him defensively this season.
Yeah. We had to move some matchups around in terms of where he probably would have been. But then, offensively as well, we missed a lot of open shots, right? We missed a lot of wide open threes from the corners, we missed threes from the top. Like, if you think about it, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Seth probably takes 12 to 14 shots a game, right? So some of those passes, some of those wide open shots are ending up in his hands. And he's shooting some of those. So that's where we kind of missed him. The ability to space the floor, the ability to give us another guy that could score the basketball, not take some pressure off of Sam, take some pressure off of Jalen to create so much. Offensively is where it shows up the most. He's been really good defensively, and we could have changed some different things up schematically when they were hurting us. Like when they went smaller, it took away our ability to go smaller, right, and make E.J. Liddell match up with himself, right? Seth did a good job guarding him in the first game, but E.J. didn't do a great job of guarding him at times. So that kind of took that advantage away of us being able to play, he and Miles together and play small, and now they have to match up with us on the perimeter a little bit. So I think both ends we missed him in terms of what he would have brought to yesterday's game.
Spencer Ripchett.
Hey Micah, same a little bit more on that question. Seth Lundy's only a junior, but what does he bring leadership wise that you missed on Sunday?
You know what? He's been good about like really getting in and bringing extra work, doing extra work. Like guys kind of follow his lead in that way, but also like he was good for us. He's been pretty good for us when we've played on the road. Like I said, I don't have everything in front of me, but he was pretty good in the Michigan State game. He played well at Northwestern. So even when we're struggling, he's had good games. He's fought for us. He's made good things happen. And, when we go through stretches when we can't score basketball like we did yesterday in the first half, we went through a long stretch where we didn't, couldn't get enough offense and generate enough offense. There's some times, some opportunities there where he could have had some, maybe some drives, maybe some open shots, maybe getting to the free throw line a little bit, in just different ways. So, we didn't have him. So, game's over. They beat us. They swept us. I hope we get them again a third time in Indy.
Joe Smeltzer.
Hi, Micah. So, not to add on to all the Seth Lundy questions, but with him being your leading scorer and also a lockdown defender, obviously everybody within the program knows what he means to Penn State basketball. But just looking around the Big Ten in a conference that has a lot of good players, a lot of good teams, and with Seth being in a program that's still growing, as you mentioned, under 500 in conference, do you feel that he's getting enough recognition around the league for what he's been able to do this season?
Probably not. No. But part of that is we got to win. Right? You win more, you get more recognition.